one of the world's most successful recording artists, but you may not be aware of his efforts in something called the Hunger Project. He's with us this morning to explain. Before we talk about the Hunger Project, because this is part of it, I want to take a look at a film that you made on this recent trip to Africa, because the images there speak volumes. Here is John Denver in Africa.
Africa has the most severe hunger problem in the world today. For 150 million people in this area, chronic malnutrition has become a daily fact of life. I'm told that people in this area have one meal every 3 days. And yet in the midst of these circumstances which require a kind of courage that you and I will rarely need to call upon, people are continuing to work, they're continuing to plant, they're continuing to share with one another. A government official today called it courageous persistence. He told us, tell people where you live that we are working to surmount these problems, that our people are helping themselves, and that we value your assistance.
John Denver is here to talk about it. Give me some sense of, one, how you got involved, the trip to Africa, the Hunger Project, and where do we go from here?
It's been a long-term thing for me. I was first introduced to the issue by Dick Gregory, and then that was fueled by my relationship with Harry Chapin, then being among those who founded the Hunger Project back in 1977, then serving on President Carter's Commission on World and Domestic Hunger, working with UNICEF, and now having all of those sort of come together to make this trip to Africa possible.
What'd you do in Africa?
Most specifically, we visited PVO projects and government projects in 4 countries, Burkina Faso, which used to be called Upper Volta, Somalia, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. And we wanted to get a visual record of not only an accurate representation of what the problem is now in Africa, but also what is being done. And we found a positive picture of that quite beyond our wildest imagination. The people in Africa are among the most incredible people I've ever met. What I said in that little film clip is accurate. They have incredible courage and spirit and a great determination to become self-reliant. They know that they need help. They're looking at that assistance in a way that seems to be different than anything that has gone on before, and incredible things are happening. And as much as I was afraid to go to Africa and find that perhaps, you know, this thing about hunger, we really haven't got a chance, I have returned with even a greater confidence that we...
Not hopeless, but optimistic.
It is not hopeless. And so much of what we wanted to communicate, Charlie, is that there seems to be an air of futility about our perspective in regard to Africa, an air of hopelessness.
And an air that it happens somewhere else.
It's always somewhere else, you know. But Martin Luther King Jr. said, if any man is not free, then I am not free. I say that if any man is hungry, I am hungry. If any child is hungry, it is my child who is starving. And that kind of perspective, plus this new message that we have that there is much more than hope there. There's real possibility going on. There's potential there to be realized that can affect the whole world.
And we're not talking about, as you have said to me, so I'm stealing your words, we're not talking about charity, you're talking about an investment in the future of some young person, some woman who may be a great brain surgeon, some young man who may conduct a symphony, some young man who may save 10 lives if we invest in his life. All of us look at that and say, by God, I can march to that banner, but what do we do? Where is the resources? Why are we so in conflict that we can't accomplish it?
The resources are there. The productivity is there. The technological capability is there. Our Presidential Commission report stated, as did the Global 2000 report, as did the Willy Brandt Commission report, that all that stands between us and the end of hunger is the political will to do something about it.
Why is that will missing?
Because there's not the popular will, the popular incentive. Once it becomes the will of people like you and me all over the world, that will make it political, and we can see an end to this obscenity in our lives. What we intend to do with this film, part of what we want to present with the message that we come back, is to create a new climate of awareness about Africa, to have people know that there's something going on here that has a great potential having to do with our future, with our children, with our grandchildren, and that there's an opportunity for us now to change something, to alleviate something that has always been there but doesn't have to be, and that reflects on every aspect of our lives.
Do you feel somehow that we're all guilty because we are so affluent, you included,
No.
my friend, that we somehow have not done our part, that we are too caught up in our own material success, that we're not sensitized, our consciousness is not attuned to someone who's far away without one meal in 3 days?
I don't think so. You know, a lot of people seem to look at it that way, and they use that word, as you suggested, charity, and what do we have to give up? I've found that there's not a great deal that you have to give up. It's more in the line of sharing, and I'm not involved in this out of guilt. I think that one of the things that happens, you know, it's like we learn about ourselves, and as you learn about yourself as an individual and an individual in society, one of the things that you find out is that truly no man is an island, and you are not complete unless you're living your way in some way that reflects on and shares and participates with someone else. This is the inevitable response of a human being who is complete with himself, fulfilled in himself.
So someone sits and watches you, John Denver, because they respect you, because they have listened to your music, because they have listened to your voice, and they say, listen, I agree, that makes sense. Where is the connection? What should that person do, feel, think, act?
Today is World Food Day. We celebrate today abundance in the world and the ability to feed ourselves and to end this thing called hunger. This is made up of a network of private voluntary organizations such as Save the Children, CARE, AfriCare, Catholic Relief Services, countless others, and government organizations like UNICEF, who are coming together in an unprecedented coalition to address Africa, most specifically, and hunger in general. Any one of these organizations, your local church, are things that you can contribute to, that you can participate in by working for. Halloween is National UNICEF Day.
But the main thing you said, though, when I come back to this, is the consciousness and the political will to do something. Without that, you will not. The problem is too big without the political will.
It would be wonderful if this issue of hunger were really going to be a part of the debate between Mr. Mondale and our president. It's not that big an issue yet. You and I, the opportunity to do things like this, people becoming aware, can make it a political issue. That's what I want.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Charlie.
John Denver.